talk today about defining areas of concern by postcode or suburb rather than by LGA. Is there a health reason why we've been sticking with the LGAs rather than defining it by suburb?
So I guess, again, there's many factors to consider in these things, one of which is LGAs tend to be bigger, and people who live in suburbs which are smaller tend to need to travel across their LGA to go shopping, to do other activities. So again, this is all open to continued review, but one of the factors that makes it more practical to use an LGA level is the ability for people to move about to do essential activities within that LGA rather than a much smaller suburb.
Because obviously there are people who are living in suburbs where there are very small numbers of cases and have been during this entire outbreak, yet they are subject to further restrictions. What can you say to those people who feel that they are being treated unfairly?
So it's been important in this outbreak for us to focus on places where the risk is highest, and that's been where in those LGAs of concern. Now, the advantage of doing that is many. One includes focusing where testing is done, focusing people's awareness of risk, but importantly also focusing where we can prioritise immunisation. So that the LGAs of concern have allowed us to prioritise immunisation in those areas to ensure that we're getting ahead of this outbreak. Remember that immunisation is our ticket out of here. So the faster we can immunise people across the state, but particularly in those LGAs of concern, the better. And that example we talked about earlier of Cumberland appearing early days to be flattening in the light of rapidly increasing immunisation rates is an example of that, where just getting immunisation to arms is just so important.
And just a technical question, I'm sorry. If there is some suburbs are split, one half is in one LGA, one half's in another LGA. If there's a case in a particular suburb, how is that case allocated? So usually they're defined by postcode. How do you put it in one LGA or the other?
Yeah, so there are a few different methods, and it gets a bit technical beyond my ability to explain it. But one is by postcode, but more accurately, it's about geocoding. So you can actually get the real place the person, LGA, the suburb is in. So, and those provide slightly different answers, but the best method is the geocoding method.
Just to follow on from that.
Sorry,
someone for Dr. McAnulty. Just to follow on from that, the City of Sydney is obviously not...
That's
okay. The City of Sydney is not a local government area of concern at present. There are some suburbs within the City of Sydney that are recording quite high numbers of cases, like Redfern and Waterloo. Why has Health not recommended that they enter the sort of restrictions that, say, have happened in Penrith, where certain suburbs have been declared an area of concern?
Yeah, again, we look at this on a daily basis, and the team that does that looks at numbers of cases, but also other factors such as immunisation, movements in the communities and so on. That's on a daily review, and that could change any time. So I'll leave that to the team who's doing that to make those assessments. But certainly it's very much based on the health need to declare a place of area.
But just a follow-up to that.
Yeah.
You guys did. With the 12 LGAs, what are the specific triggers though? What does the 12 LGAs need to get to release that lockdown, to give them relief?
So there are a range of factors, and I can't tell you all of them because I'm not that particular team that's looking at that. But it's essentially the numbers of cases, the trajectories, immunisation rates, levels of movements within those LGAs based on transport and other data there are. So it's a whole bunch of stuff that goes in there to get a sense of whether or not there's a trajectory going up and whether additional measures.
So your advice at this stage is staying locked down?
Well, it's reviewed every day. So we'll look at those factors on a daily basis.